Pirates versus Mamelodi Sundowns post-match press conference. We are joined by the away team head coach, Coach Cardoso. Welcome, sir. Coach, if you may just give us a brief summary of the match from your perspective.
Well, I think the match we played was more or less the match we predicted. Strong start from Orlando Pirates in their typical style of play when they play against Sundowns. A little bit different from what we've been seeing in the last matches or in the matches that we analyzed, but expected a team that is, I told you, that is a team with quality, very high quality, a lot of solutions in the front, a team that can aggress both inside and outside, so quite difficult to control. But I think the strategy we had, the positioning on the pitch, and the commitment towards that moment of the game was, together with the quality of Brayan, obviously enough to cope with the moment. I think we were not very clever when we, that maybe 20 minutes when we won the ball, we were not very clever on managing the ball in terms of putting and playing the ball in the spaces that were available. Basically try to rush to go on the goal. And obviously it's not the way to play against Orlando Pirates. That is a team that wants spaces, wants the game stretched, wants to play contra of the counter-attack, wants to win balls and put numbers. So we made a few mistakes. But also a few corrections during the first half from ourselves in the bench, approaching the players in the middle, try to make us be more together, bringing in some moments Aubrey also to make numbers inside, opening Tashri, gave us variability in the game and capacity to control. So I told the boys that compared to the previous matches with Pirates, we had to increase the capacity to have the ball. And we finished the first half with 68% of ball possession. It means that obviously we took the game for the comfort zone that we wanted after the first 20 minutes. Together with that, obviously there appeared the goals. That goals appeared the way we also predict that we could arrive on the box. Obviously that all teams depend on the quality of their players, and as we had a fantastic Rowan Williams today on the goal, we had also accuracy and the quality on the way we played the ball on the back of that defense. And a striker that obviously used the moments to score. And as much as we coaches may create whatever strategies, tactics, as I told you, the game is from the players. The emotions that we bring on the match are very important and decisive, and I think that's also what happened today, a conjugation of factors that took us to a fantastic and comfortable result at halftime. Obviously the message was very clear at halftime. If we go in the second half to defend, we're going to suffer. It didn't mean exactly suffer goals, but suffer because obviously the reaction from Pirates had to be very strong. And with one of the diagonals from Apolis there on the right, we didn't control that movement. And you saw that our line was stretched with one extra player. That we should have obviously closed that space. We allowed the ball to enter in the box and the ball appears from there. The second ball that comes for a shot. So obviously in that moment all the emotional state of the game changes. For a team that is winning 2-0 and start the match with a goal suffered obviously brings a lot of, let's say that the pressure came a little bit on our side. As you remember in the previous press conference after the match with MC Alger, I said that if we would score to MC Alger, immediately the pressure would be on their side. This time the pressure, despite we were winning, came on our side. And just the maturity of our players, the quality of our players, and the humbleness of our players to cope with the different moments that we were living throughout the second half, and the quality to them that they had, together obviously with the substitutions we did in order to manage the game and take it to the end, allowed us to keep the result. I think it's a fair victory from a team that wanted very much to win this match, brought the right attitude, brought quality, and understood how to play the different moments of the game. These games are to play the right way, and they are mostly to win.
We'll now open for questions from the floor. As per norm, we've got roving mics. Please identify yourselves as well as the media company you represent prior to asking your question. Are there any questions?
Coach Lorenzo from the Biscuit Times. Just how much have you worked on having an attacking variation to the Sundowns game? Because we're so used to Sundowns, playing this beautiful short passing game, but there's a different rhythm at times, and it's going more direct. Like, how much have you worked on having a variation in your attack this season?
That is a very funny question, because during this week I heard, the previous week I heard a lot of times saying that Sundowns plays always the same way. Look, sometimes things go well, sometimes things don't go well. I come from a small village in Portugal, and my family was always very humble. And that's the way we have to live in this game, because the game is like a big trip by car. Sometimes you are in the mountains, you climb the mountain, sometimes you go down, and yeah, we worked quite a lot in terms of approaching, and I think it's clear that we brought different things. We are trying to also to bring different challenges according to how the teams play. This team of Pirates, I repeat, is a high quality team, and I believe that this team is strong. I said to my assistant coaches, this team is stronger than MC Alger. Very strong, this team, very, very strong. That's why they are making the championship they are doing. That's why today was very tough. That's why this season, in 90 minutes played, we never had beaten them, but also we had never lost. We lost in penalties, as you know. But tough, very tough to prepare this match. I think the players understood the message. They brought the strategy defensively that was important to control the width, to control the space in between lines, to drop their energy by having the ball, controlling also the ambience in the stadium by having the ball, and then aggressing them the way we had capacity in different moments. Obviously, the players that we have allow us to create also variability, and that's basically a challenge that we put to the players on the approach of the game that was different from NCL clearly. Some things I said, sometimes things go well, sometimes things don't go well. So it's not because of that now we are the best ones in the world, or that we were before the worst. But one thing is clear, answer to your question, is that the boat doesn't sail from the wind from yesterday. We need always to bring new wind because the challenges are different. They were different on the weekend with MC Alger. They were different today, and they will be different on Saturday with the TS Galaxy, and then with Amazulu on Tuesday, and then on Saturday again. So there's a lot of challenges ahead. Let's be creative. Let's hope we can have the players available. Let's hope luck protects the people that dare to do, and we are just on the way, nothing more than that. Just a victory in the match, 3 points. We need a lot. There's a lot to work on to do.
Coach Delmania from Sakladuma. Experience. How big of a factor was that today? Because you go from almost conceding like 3 big chances, and then within split seconds, you then go and capitalize where maybe you didn't have such big chances. The few that you did have, you made the most of. Just how crucial is experience in that moment?
Do you remember the last 3 matches we played with Orlando Pirates? You remember the 3 of them we played? How was the result? First goal. How was the result? No. The 3 matches we played this season with Orlando Pirates, all of them we were winning 1-0. Correct?
Yeah.
And you remember that on all of them we had chances to score second goal. And we didn't. Game is like that. Sometimes the game is like that. You need inspiration, you need the luck, you need the wiseness, you need the players, the quality. Rowan saved them. Shane saved Pirates in other matches. The post saved both today because I think both teams had balls on the post. There's a thin margin in game and in football. And thin margins have happened one side and either the other. Today there was a thin margin that fell for our side because the emotions were so strong from our part. Things had to happen. There was no other way. Because the commitment was so strong, the intentionality was so strong. Look, I told my players today in the locker room, if you were supposed to play today the last game of your lives, how you would play it? And at halftime, I told them the same. If you would play the last second half of a football game of your lives, how you play it? And they played like if there was no tomorrow. They played like there was no tomorrow. And when you play like if there's no tomorrow, you give everything and just ask God to protect us. We also have God that we ask for protection sometimes, or a lot of times.
Yes, thank you. Coach Belila here from SABC. Congratulations on the result. Coach, for a new striker, especially a foreign striker, they always say the sooner he starts to settle and score goals, things work better for him. For Brayan now, 6 goals in 7 matches, and you look at the goals he scored today, identical to this past weekend's goals. What would you say has worked for him? The telepathy he also seems to develop with the players as well.
Look, the adaptation of Brayan, Nuno, Miguel, the players that arrived for Enos this season have been very good because of the group we have, the club we have, the work we do together in order obviously to make them get as quick as possible identified with the way we want to play, and also the boys that were here already to absorb the characteristics of the players that arrive. There needs to be a fusion between the characteristics of the players that arrive and the way we play. That's what we've been doing. Obviously, that scoring goals from him gives energy. He scored goals on the first friendly match that he played. When we were in the preparation, immediately he scored 1 goal. But look, if it's not Brayan, it will be Peter. If it's not Peter, it will be Ikram. If it's not Ikram, it will be Lebo. And we still trust Van Bennett that plays now mostly on this. Obviously that we also coaches, we depend on the players. We depend so much on the players. We just need to provide them conditions to play good, emotional satisfaction, well-being. I think they were very well welcomed, and himself, okay, of course, gives acceptance in a group when the player shows quality, and that doubles the energy towards himself. I don't know, but last match, I think that, I don't know even if that dance came from him, but seeing him dance together with the same choreography of the players made me at home after match understand that he's already inside of the dynamics of the team. That really, when I saw that, I said, interesting. So it means that they work on the locker room also by themselves, to be together. Let's hope him and the boys all together can perform, because there are so many challenges ahead. And I ask you one question, how it's possible that this team that played 3 days ago has to play again on Saturday? But let's speak about that tomorrow in the press conference of the NetBank Cup.
We'll take the final 2 questions. Suresh, if you can just hold off on the celebrations a bit and put your phone in silent mode, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you. Jabulo and Masket, the final 2. Thank you.
Jabulo from News 24. Coach, I mean, before sort of the two results, there was quite a lot of pressure that you were under and being said in the stands and whatnot from the fans. What is it that kept you sane during this whole period, and what satisfies you the most about how this team has responded to the questions that were sort of being asked?
Let me make one question. Is that a Pirates shirt?
Huh?
No, because I would skip your dance for sure. Are you sure that is not a Pirates shirt?
It's an American sport. Not even the same sport.
Because this is the 4th time that you ask me about pressure. Every press conference there's pressure. We coaches, we develop a valve on the side of here. We open and we empty the pressure. Look, I'm joking, but obviously I always tell that to my people, to my coaches, to my players. Come on, guys. We live in a country where people fight a lot to have food to put on the table. That is pressure. Forget the rest. We are privileged people. Privileged people to live in football. And I never forget where I come from. Never forget where I come from. That's a long way to arrive where we are. And in the good moments, we should not step on the toes, but also in the moments that are not so good, we should not be on the ankles. Because football is like that, life is like that in the game. And look, it's not now because we won 2 matches, fantastic and so important, that we believe that, or at least I don't behave like that. My life will be absolutely the same. I will go home, sleep in the same bed, tomorrow wake up, have the same breakfast, take my pills in the morning to give me some energy, fast until lunch, prepare next match, start watching a match for sure in the afternoon of Galaxy to see what they changed compared to what we analyzed before, try to see the players, speak with the doctors, prepare. Look, the routine is the same, never changes. Never changes. It's just a matter of, obviously that is true. I would be very naive and a liar if I would not say that the face of a guy that wins or the energy in the locker room when you win, it's absolutely not the same that when you don't win. But if you take a look, also we have not lost so many games like that. Unfortunately, the biggest losses we had in this season were on penalties. Those ones that we could not fight for to recover from them. Because both cups we lost were on penalties. With Pirates 1 and with the Marumo Gallants another one, where Marumo didn't have one single shot in our goal. But we stood up, we continue to believe, and that's what we're gonna do. Today it's just one game out of how many we have still to play, I don't even know. And there's so many in such a sequence of matches that we can only put the heads in the head and say how we're gonna survive. But survive is belief and work as better as we can, make the players believe that all of them are very important, because it will happen. Players that today were not even on the bench will be so important probably already Saturday. Just hope that they can stand up and be able to be on the level of the challenges that we have. Nothing more, absolutely nothing more, nothing more.
Final question.
Must get the power FM. Coach, my question is on Jaden as well as O'Brien. Obviously, Jaden misses the AFCON, comes back in the beginning in and out of the team, but against Obi, CLJ, and now Pirates, top games, and then you got Obi as well taking the team. What have you noted to be maybe the change in them? Even how maybe you are also trying to bring them back into the first game. What has been the biggest difference or biggest change that you noted with these 2 players?
It's also curious because besides saying that the coach doesn't change strategies, there's also a belief that we don't have a first 11, and that one is true. The first one, no, but the second one is true. We don't have first 11, and either Aubrey or Jaden were not out of the team. They were just not lined up in 2 matches, and that can happen, and probably will happen again in the nearest future. Look, it's impossible for players to play consecutively in the level of these games. It was so tough today, so tough. And on the weekend was so tough. And the trips we have, and the nights that we don't sleep, because you imagine how much adrenaline a player accumulates on the blood when he plays a match like this. Now to clear all that and to fall asleep is so difficult. So there's a lot of work that has to be done on that. Because obviously it seems that a player is out when he stays out of 2 matches or just comes in, or 3 matches, but sometimes 3 matches is 7 days. 7 days doesn't change the life of no one. And that's the belief that we try to install in our locker room. There's starters, finishers, and players that in the next one probably will be either starter or finisher in the matches. Imagine how to play on Saturday. the exercise you need to do on seeing which are the best ones to start the match. Because there's no best players or worst players. There's just a group that has a lot of quality that have to rise for the level when we put them in and show that they are there. We believe on all of them. We believe in all of them. I embrace in the same way that the players that started the match finished, or the ones that were in the locker room that didn't even play. Fawaz came on my office now after the match, and I gave him the hug with the same intensity, and I said congratulations in the same way I said to Grant or to Mudal or to Roman when they were on the pitch, because they need to understand that the coach believes on them, and that's it. I will always believe on my players. I will always believe on my players.
Thank you, Coach. On that note, we've come to the conclusion of our press conference.